I just love these snacks. They're absolutely delicious. There's only one problem with them. It's just never enough. It's like 40 grams. And that is why I have decided to start making an infinite amount of these snacks. Apparently they also have like a Mr. Beast version of this. Never tried it before. So, flavor comes in the end. It's a bit spicy. It's nice and spicy. It's okay. Not the best beef jerky. Still good. Still beef jerky. And to make this snack, I'm gonna need this, and this. And I'm going to need a big cut of beef because I'm making beef jerky. Did you know that worldwide $6 billion worth of beef jerky is sold every year? That makes beef jerky the best sold snack in the world. And in the US alone they eat 143 million pounds of this stuff. That's about 65 million kilos of beef jerky. Just think about the enormity of that. To feed my beef jerky addiction, I need to either make beef jerky that is as good as the gas station version or even better. I did my research and I found that there are 8 industrial steps that I need to take to make beef jerky. Let's start with number 1. Step 1 is raw material selection, and that means we need to get some beef, and specifically beef that has less than 5% of fat. That is to prevent oxidation and rancidity, and the meat has to be below 4 degrees Celsius or 39 degrees Fahrenheit. And I still have this cut in my freezer, and it's called the mock tender or the chuck tender. It's basically a tapered cut of beef with a very low fat percentage, which should make it absolutely perfect for beef jerky. I did my first slice at 4 millimeters and I discovered that there's a problem with this cut. If you take a look at it, you see that there is a nice thick tendon running all the way through the meat. That is definitely a no-go. I need to take this off first. So I'm going to take my knife and start removing that tendon. Cannot do a perfect job because that tendon runs in multiple directions. But I am going to cut this meat up to a smaller size so it's going to be easier to handle. Time to keep on slicing, and look at these beautiful slices that now come off this cut. Trimming and portioning was actually step 2 of the process, so step 2 complete. Now let's move on to step number 3. Why is portioning step 2? Honestly, I think I'm messing up the steps. So step 1 was the raw material selection. Did that, beef. Step 2, trimming and portioning. Well, we cut off that piece and got rid of the things that we didn't need, and we sliced it. But then step 3 is slicing. So we already did step 3 too, and we're now on to step 4. You see how it's not that easy to follow instructions? So step 4, marinating and curing applications. So I weighed the beef, and the beef weighs 930 grams, which is 70 grams short of a kilogram. And to each kilogram, we need to apply 20 grams of curing salt. And curing salt has nitrate in it, and that kills bacteria and turns the meat red. So if you ever wondered why your charcuterie is red, it's because of the nitrate. Same goes for ham. Ham's not naturally the ham color. I'm also going to add 2 tablespoons of dark brown sugar and 2 tablespoons of the PitmasterX barbecue beef seasoning because I love barbecue flavored beef jerky. Of course, the industry standard is to use tumblers and vacuum machines and all kinds of stuff. Well, I don't have that, so I'm just going to use my hands. I'm going to make sure I give every little piece of meat a little bit of massage with all those flavors. I can see the color changing of each piece, which means it's been marinated. Not that hard. Now I'm gonna stick this in the fridge and let it sit there for at least an hour. I'm going to make another version of beef jerky that looks like this. And to make it, I'm going to cut lean beef into cubes, put it through the meat grinder till I have enough ground beef to fill a bowl. That then goes onto a scale and it reads 2 kilograms. That means I have to add 40 grams of nitrate salt. I'm also going to add 4 tablespoons of Tweety barbecue seasoning, 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, 4 tablespoons of dark brown sugar. I'm going to mix it in my kitchen machine until I have a smooth meat dough. I'm going to stick it in a bag, cut off the end, and start squeezing until I get these beautiful shaped meat sticks. As you can see, I'm putting them on a silicone mat, also known as a pastry mat, which you can place in the oven or the barbecue. Of course, I'm also going to lay out the beef jerky that we marinated before. Make sure that I spread everything out over the racks so that there's plenty of room for airflow. And now it's time for step 5, which the industry calls thermal lethality step. Thermal lethality, which basically means we're going to kill everything. And this can be done either in an oven or a smoker. Well, I currently have the Borniak smoker. And this is basically a beef jerky maker. Really, it's not, but it's the ultimate smoker, where you can make the perfect beef jerky, and let me show you. You see, this barbecue's got a hopper. In that hopper, you're gonna put some smoke wood. Personally, I like to put in some beech wood. Then you've got a control unit, which you can set your temperature, but you can also turn on the smoke or turn it off. If you take a look at the inside, you see a heating spiral and an extruder. And that's where the wood starts to smoke. A heating element in the back is going to provide you with heat. And all you need to do is slide in a smoke diffuser, and then I can slide in my beef jerky. Let me explain you how the lethal part works. Basically, this is going to heat up the beef jerky to the point where there are no bacteria left. We gotta kill them all with the heat. But there's another opportunity that we have. You see, there's also the opportunity to actually smoke the beef jerky. It's going to give the beef jerky acidity. So first I'm going to turn on the heat, setting the temperature. And as you can see, it was 4 degrees Celsius. Now I'm going to bring that up to 71 degrees Celsius. That's 160 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm also going to turn on the smoker and I'm going to smoke it for half an hour. And that's 2 birds and 1 stone. Yeah, 2 cows with 1. It's just, I mean, never mind. Of course, the heating process of the beef jerky is going to take a little longer, especially the sticks that are a little thicker than the flat stuff. So I'm going to keep the beef jerky at the 71 degrees Celsius just as long as I can measure the temperature inside the beef jerky at 71. To make sure, I'm going to take out my chef temp thermometer, and once I got that 71 degrees Celsius internal temperature, I can remove the smoke function and put in a blower. Because it's time for step 6. And step 6 is drying dehydration. And the temperature has to be between 55 degrees Celsius and 75 degrees Celsius, which is 130 degrees Fahrenheit and 167 degrees Fahrenheit according to industry standards. The duration is between 2 and 6 hours, but the main thing is to get it shelf stable is to get the humidity below 85%. Below 85%, then we can just leave it on the shelf. How do we measure that? I don't know. But I do know that we want to get it dry. And the drier we're going to get it, the better it's going to be shelf stable. That's it. Did you actually know that in 100 grams of beef jerky, there's between 30 to 40 grams of protein? Because if you're one of those buffs that do a lot of gym work, or you're like me, you just like beef jerky, then it doesn't mean it's naturally an unhealthy snack. It's actually something that you can add to your diet and it makes sense. Cool, huh? The thinner beef jerky is probably going to be done within 2 to 3 hours, where the thicker beef jerky needs probably more like 5 to 6 hours. But I'm going to leave them in the Borniak while it's below my fridge temperature anyway. This stuff is amazing. It looks so good now. Wow, insane. We got proper beef jerky here. It's the stuff that dreams are made of. Look at that. That is what I want. That is what I need. An infinite amount of snacks at my disposal. And I can be doing this like making a batch every weekend. Honestly, it turned out way better than expected, but I just followed these 8 steps. That is the industry standard. And in return, I got the best looking beef jerky. It's actually got a pretty good pull. Wow. Delicious. This is probably the best thing that you can do for yourself, is make some beef jerky. I'll put a recipe and a link down below so you can just recreate this. It's not that hard. All you need is a smoker like the Borniak or a drying device, and you're gonna figure this out. I promise you. This stuff is freaking delicious.